Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. We are still here with Helen, continuing our conversation. Before I keep talking, ladies, do you have any questions? I don't want to take over the whole conversation.
Oh, I was just going to talk about so I was a gym rat in my 20s, did the bodybuilding thing because that was what the trend was, and have gone on and off sports activities my whole life. But I think one of the concerns maybe people have is where do there's always a trend. There's always, oh, it's Pilates, it's yoga, it's this. Where do we intelligently create our and I totally agree with everything you say, that it's more a lifestyle. It's not, I'm just going to get fit, I'm just going to lose weight. It has to be part of who you are. Totally love that. Think of what you want to be doing at 100. And so how do I, as a over 50 woman, know the right path to go on?
Great question. I would like to start with the aspect of, again, for it to be sustainable, it has to be fun. It has to be, again, meaningful for you. So without trying to find, okay, the exact right thing for me.
Right. Yeah. And I'm just looking at like an overall, like if someone was exploring this and they go, okay, well, they're telling me it's Pilates over women should be now weight training, not aerobics, right? There's always the ongoing change of what we should be doing. So more not specifically of what sport or activity, but kind of general way to approach your education on being healthier and fit. What did you call fit for life?
Fit for life.
Fit for life. Yeah. Your your road to fit for life is more what I'm looking for, in that how you the gurus that aren't really gurus, get rid push them away.
Yeah. Well, whether we talk about exercise or nutrition, we can put this in the same bucket, in the sense that there's a lot of trends. It's going to go on, off, new, rebuilt, revisited. And so as women over 40, over 50, if we want to be our best, in a sense, so we want to take over what our hormones were doing, so progesterones and estrogens are the big player here, a little bit of testosterone as well. What's happening is that they start to go down, and at some point we won't have any at all. So they were doing a job. The body is so complex, so smart. So there's a lot of things happening in our body we don't even know. It's just happening. Our thermoregulation, for example. You may have experienced, the symptoms of perimenopause, menopause, where hot flashes is just one example. Well, basically is the fluctuation of each of those hormones, and then the ratio of those two hormones. This, if we take estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen start to go down, but then the fun thing is that it's going to go back up and down and up and down for more or less 5 to 10 years. We have to just buckle up. It's going to be that roller coaster, embrace it. But we can reduce, if we want, the symptoms by understanding what is going on. So I can't go by heart over everything they're doing, but they're doing a lot of things. And the ratio from one to the other also creates symptoms. So we can name about 40 different symptoms that women can experience, low to heavy, during perimenopause. The good news is that we can take over what they were doing. So, though it's work for us, but we can take over. So, simply said, lifting heavy stuff in a sense. Whatever heavy is for you. You were saying, Tracy, that you used to be a gym rat, so you're potentially familiar with lifting heavy weights. Whereas if we take my mom as an example again, she was not used to lift heavy weights. So maybe for her, heavy is 20 pounds. For you, maybe it's 100 pounds. For someone else, it's 200 pounds. Okay. So whatever heavy is for you, this is something we want to target at least 2, 3, 4 times a week. Get to there. Like, just focus on that. Go look on why, but it will target. It will stress our system for increased bone density, keep and gain any lean mass still, so muscle growth, all the cognitive function we need, we want to preserve and stay and keep healthy and functional. Again, just because estrogen and progesterone, we're doing a lot of that stuff. But by lifting heavy, so another way to measure it is whatever I'm gonna do, squat, and maybe body weight is it's heavy for me. After 5 reps, I'm done. Good, that's your heavy for you. Maybe for someone else, I can actually hold a weight and do with again 30 pounds and do 5 of this. And wherever you have 2 reps left, that's intense. We don't want to just hit maximum. In our 20s, yes, we were in that building phase, hit to go to failure. Now we just want to keep 2 reps in, but still visit intense. And this is something also women from our social cultural baggage, I might be fragile, I got to be careful. Yes, be careful, learn how to safely do these movements, but they're functional, so you should be visiting them on a daily, weekly, monthly basis elsewhere in your life if you move around. But so visit intensity. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just if 3 reps of that's intense to me, great, do it. 2 days later, do it again. 2 days later, do it again. So lift heavy is one aspect. Another aspect would be to do plyometrics. So jumping, anything jumping. Again, it will put stress, but healthy stress on our body, on our skeleton, muscles, system, in a way that they will stay strong. So for bone density, for example, if we don't do anything, we can lose up to 1/3 of our bone density. That's huge. We see that women, as a general matter, we can observe it like, oh my God, they're shrinking, they're smaller, right? Well, it's not because they've been in the dry machine. It's that happening. So they need to take over the work, the job of what the estrogen and progesterone were doing by lifting heavy stuff and plyometrics. So jumping, again, make it fun, make it playful, play with your grandkids. Ideal way to do it. This will be good for bone density, as an example. And a third aspect would be to do high intensity interval training. Now, this is again another fancy word, but what does it mean in everyday life? Just again, go hit something when you'll be out of breath for 30 seconds, hard for you, and then rest for 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, do it again. So 30-minute hard, whether it be, if let's say I'm a runner, so I can potentially hit that intensity running up a hill, then rest, recover. Again, doesn't have to be super structured, like 30 seconds on and 1 minute off, but go hard, short, and then rest longer. So it could be a 1-to-2 ratio. It could be body weight movement. So as long in the end, it's you experience heart rate elevation. So cardiovascular. It can be cycling. It can be swimming. It can be body weight exercises. I'm gonna do some jump rope and some squats and some grasshopper, whatever movement. But some things, something to be careful about or stay away, in a sense, if we want to hit those 3 specific elements for women. All those endurance cardio classes, they're not targeting that. So you're going to sweat a lot for an hour, but you stay in that middle range. So we're not hitting those high intensity with longer recovery. And again, still, so there's education that needs to keep going, that no, it's okay to go hard. It's okay to lift heavy. You're going to be fine. Yes, respect your limits. So go progressively by visiting this. How do you feel? Cool. And then go. But we need to visit high intensity to have those recruitment, those stimulus for our bone density to rise, for our muscle growth, for our cognitive health. I have a client who she's 65 or 70, and she loves to walk. And great. She will prioritize that, and just, I'm going to go longer. Like, no, longer won't be better. And sometimes I don't have more energy afterwards to do my exercise. Well, I say walking, cycling, running, swimming is good cardiovascular aspect, but it's good for mental health. But for your bone density, muscle, and cognitive health, we want to target those 3 elements I just mentioned. So lift heavy stuff, do some plyometrics, again, respecting where you are, and high intensity sprint, interval, whatever you want to call them. Now, again, what do I like to do? Well, I can make it fun. If you like, share with, find a buddy. Sometimes they might have classes or group training that targets that, but look for those. Anything like aerobic for 1 hour, it's a flat line. You won't have those stimuli.
Thank you. Tracy, E, do you have anything? I know you had a couple questions before.
No, I mean, you've addressed everything, Hélène, just like beautifully. So I guess the only thing is, how many of these intervals in the high intensity should one be aiming for?
While respecting, where we start. So if we have not done that at all in our life, for example, start with once a week. And again, it's better a little, and then more often. So build to 2-3 times a week. And it can be, again, at first, as simple as, you can be done in 15 minutes, in a sense. Do a proper warm-up, of course. Warming up and the whole world of mobility is definitely something we want to as well focus on as we are aging.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as our tissue get stiffer over time. So we do need more loosening up, warming it up. And I like, again, to make it meaningful. Something I also like, the concept of the 3M is movement, mindfulness, and mindset. Often I'll hear people, I don't have time. Make it 5 minutes, 10, 15 minutes in your day by waking up. You ideally, start your day with that. So movement. What movement? Just simple move around. Visit the range of motion of your arms, your hips, your ankle. You can make it playful. If someone like dance, make it like a dance routine. However you want it. I used to dance younger, and I still kept those little, routine for my ankle from back when I was doing ballet. So this is part of my own warm-up routine. But my point is make it more like almost a ritual. I'll wake up, whatever is for you. I like to just go outside, take some fresh air, some sunlight, vitamin D, and then I will start moving around. Mindfulness, we're again still, maybe we can easily be disconnected from our own self. So mindfulness, as simple as minimum as breathing, being aware of our breathing, is just one simple way to be mindful. Be aware of my body, where I'm standing, what am I thinking. We can be so easy be sucked by what I have to do today or the stress of something, and just regroup. It can be a meditation, it can be any kind of mindfulness that is meaningful to you. I have a client who cannot sit for 2 minutes, so she's like, I'll never meditate, it's annoying me. So I would not tell her find meditation, no. But whatever is meaningful for her, I know just being aware of her breathing and slow it down. So however, mindfulness, it helps. And then mindset. What's going to be my mindset for today? It can be something general you revisit every day. I like the one for me, today is the first day of the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Man, it's all open. What am I going to do with it? So it's kind of a fresh start every morning. Hey, you know what? Today, that's a special day. It's the first day of the rest of my life. That's me. And if I have, let's say, a specific project going on, then I will also add that. Okay, I'm preparing for this. Why is it that I want to accomplish this? What does it mean to me? And just be present to that. So that's my mindset of the day. Today, I can revisit my core value. Today, yes, I will be the manifestation of one of my core value, courage. How am I going to do this today? Simple action, but I like those 3 M. It can take 5 minutes for those who have a crazy, fast-paced lifestyle, or you can make it 30-minute thing. But kind of just visiting, did I hit the 3 M's, basically? That's something awesome. I recommend people using. And so mobility fall into that warm up or movement. As women over 40, we need to pay a personalized attention. What is it on me that is maybe stiffer? I need to move more, prepare more, warm up more. So make it your own, make it fun, meaningful. There you go.
Thank
Great.
you. That's beautiful. Two other things I want to bring up. One, I think was totally surprising that you have me do, and I'm really used to it now. And I kind of I know when I go to the gym, when I'm back in Florida, I won't be able to do it as much as I do at home. But I think maybe have a little conversation on that. And I think it'll go with the stability aspects of it. But a lot of times you have me do my workout at home barefoot.
Mm-hmm.
You have me do a lot of things barefoot and even lift my weights if I felt comfortable. When I was doing very heavy and I didn't feel comfortable that they might slip out, of course, I would put shoes on. I don't want to break my toes or my feet or whatever. But I think that was eye-opening for me because even to help with my stability, because even in some of my warm-ups and even we've had conversations and you've had me start to do a couple things is trying to even like just put on a pair of socks without like standing up and trying to put on your socks to build that stability. Getting out of a chair, I don't touch anything. I don't even use my knees, like to just pull myself out for that aspect of it. And really working that stability piece. So can you talk a little bit about the barefoot piece?
Definitely. As simple as again, the body, our body is a magnificent, beautiful, complex machine. And we want to smartly, intelligently let it do its job. Shoes. I want to avoid going in the extreme here, but shoes should be the main purpose of a shoes is protection from the external element, whether it be cold. My Canadian fellow here can understand that. I would not go barefoot
Right.
in the Canadian winter, but or protect from the external elements. Now, our feet, we're standing. We're again a biped animal. We're standing on our feet. We want to allow these 2 feet and the rest attached to it to do its job properly. If we, for example, in the shoes where it's more pointy, it's pretty, but we're not allowing the full range of motion of all the tiny muscles, joints here that are there to help us balance, give direction, push, pull, all the aspects. So if we're restricting them, and let's say either take a high heel shoe, super high heel shoe, pointy high heel, or a combat boot, army type, where everything is really tight. You don't have that full range of motion of the ankle. Well, so that lower part cannot do its job. The rest will have to compensate in some way. And hello, knee problem. Hello, hip problems. So like a hand, there's a lot of tiny muscle, lots of tiny joints, and we need to leave them do their job. So as soon as we compress, or even have a support, any type of support in a shoe, we're actually taking the job of our own foot, ankle, lower leg, and so it gets weak. It gets weak. In that sense, still while being safe, do as much as possible barefoot. So allow your feet to do its job. And so yes, it's stability. We have a lot of stabilizer muscles in our body. Down there are all tiny. We want to let them do their work. We will, on the long haul, it will prevent injury, for sure. Prevent, again, knee problem. I'm an ultra distance runner, as you may have heard, and I've run a lot of long, crazy, out of the norm distances. And people ask me, well, you don't get injured? Overall, not really. And why? Well, I have strong feet, strong ankle. I let them do the work. So whenever I train, it's not my shoes that are doing the work. It's my body, it's my feet, my ankle, my lower leg. So whether we're a runner or not, just a human being, I highly encourage, make sure your feet are strong and they develop their strength, stability, and mobility on all these little joints. They need to be mobile. If one is not mobile, somewhere else will need to compensate, and then we can put too much stress. Often knee problem. The symptoms will be at the knee, but the cause, the source is often down there. Because that's
Interesting, because I don't think
contact
Nike agrees with you.
Yeah, and you know, there's no money to be made with healthy and fit people.
Yeah.
We live in a capitalism
Yeah.
world where marketing is leading, and so there's tons of shoes, but it's
Yeah.
all market. I mean, a lot is all marketing.
But that
It's-
makes complete sense, right? If you're not using it, you lose it. So if you're not allowing your feet to support you,
Yeah.
that just nice
Yeah.
little circle of events there.
Yeah.
And I've gotten very used to it. I've gotten very used to it in my home here, and even down in Florida when it's a weight train day or I'm doing floor work, or I call floor work. You'll know what I'm talking about, or whatever. I've done it. I now do it barefoot the whole time, and it's funny because she'll have me be doing a deadlift. I'll be comfortable with that weight. It's a little heavy for me, but it's not like I feel it's going to slip out of my hand. And I could picture her like I expand my toes. I anchor my feet. I'm like all parts of my feet. It's my big toe to my pinky to my heel to the center. It's all anchored, and I just feel like this strength coming up from the floor, from my feet all the way up when I'm doing my deadlifts. So I think I don't think people talk about that enough.
Well, that's
So
funny because I
Yeah.
work out at home and I naturally do it barefoot, but I do it just because I'm too lazy to put on shoes. So it wasn't because I knew, but
we're
hey,
doing
I'm so glad I'm doing something that I didn't
Yeah.
even know. No,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
why are you going to put your shoes on in your house to work out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And
Helen, oh, go ahead.
no, well, you were bringing a next great point is, so other than, you know, to have strong, healthy feet and then building from the ground up, but having the direct contact, just like in our hands, under our feet, there's a lot of nerve ending, a lot of receptor for, there's information. So grabbing, you know, grasping the ground, feeling, shifting to have our weight on that tripod under our foot will make the rest of the whole body stronger and stable.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. And to our viewers, please, if you have any questions for us, for Helen, put them down in the comment. Don't forget, if you like this episode or episodes, we're actually going to have this episode in a couple episodes. So we'll spread them out. And so make sure you watch it all. Share this with somebody that you think will benefit from this. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and hit notifications so you know when our next episode is out. Until then, thank you.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.